Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast with Simon Burridge and the person they modelled the jaw for Buzz Lightyear on, Rachel Burridge.
Right, grab the clapper ball.
Turn it round, look into the camera.
Hello, camera.
That's a TV. That's a TV. Where do you reckon the camera is?
Oh, don't bloody... Oh, there. There you go. You can get my boobs, look.
That's what I was hoping to, yeah. That's it, we don't need to record anymore. I've got what I was after.
Right, what have I got to do now?
Name and your company.
Okay.
Straight into the camera. That's it.
I'm Diane and I'm from Harmony in Sound.
Well done, that's it. That's exactly what we want to do. Rach, take that on. You know how to do that. There we go, Diane. I don't know what you put. Did you put Diane Harmony and Sound? Right, okay. You didn't put your surname.
No.
Double barreled.
It won't fit.
Lovely to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Before we start, are you nervous? Not nervous, are you? You don't look like a nervous person anymore.
I don't really do nerves. Never done anything like this before, so
Okay.
I've got absolutely no idea.
We get naked
what to
halfway through.
expect. Well, we've already talked about gong banging, so I wouldn't be surprised, you know.
Right. How long do you reckon before it falls off the wall?
I'm going to go for 6 minutes, 52 seconds.
Okay.
That's
We're going to go to the sponsors, and when we get back, it's 6 minutes 52. That was good, wasn't it?
Why did you click though?
I don't know. Sounds good.
Sounds more interesting.
We're going to come back after sponsors.
Today's sponsors are
DiGiorgio Properties, your premier choice for expert building solutions. From concept to completion, trust them to turn your dreams into a reality.
Visit their website today at digiorgiosproperties.com.
Dimodici Associates, chartered structural and civil engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on dimodiciassociates.com.
Just stick the energy out there. If I enough and we get the vibration going and get it off quicker, right?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, sponsors. That's the sponsors done. Right, tell us about yourself, Diane.
Oh, where do you want to start?
Anywhere from birth.
Oh, God. Okay. I was born in the Medway, actually.
Was you?
In Hempstead.
All right, lovely.
Actually, born in Gillingham, moved to Hempstead.
Okay.
So, local girl to you. My journey for the sound work, actually, so I've been in utilities for about 15 years. That's my main...
Utilities warehouse?
Yeah, I do a little bit of that.
Okay,
I do a little bit of that. My utility business is split into two parts.
Okay.
So I do the UW part for residential, and then I have a brokerage firm on the other side for commercial.
Okay.
So it's split 50-50, which is really nice. I started with UW originally, and then after about 4 years, people started coming to me and saying, can you do commercial as well?
Okay.
Because obviously you'll find people that want their homes done, but they'll have businesses as well. So then I partnered with a brokerage firm in London, and I've been working with them ever since. So we do commercial trading for energy. So if you've got a contract and you've got a year to go, we can forward price a contract up to a year in advance.
Right, yeah.
So it means we can time the market a little bit, which, funnily enough, I did for someone only last week.
Brilliant.
That kind of pays the bills for me at the minute. That business has been running about 15 years. And it's lovely when you can save people £100 a month, £10,000 a year. I saved a school £250,000 a year.
Wow.
And it does fill my heart in the moment, but it's not something that lasts.
No, I understand that.
Whereas the sound work for me is something that really does fill my soul from the inside out.
Right, so explain the sound work to us then.
So the business is Harmony in Sound, and we're an alternative therapy business. And that's broken down into a number of different modalities. We work with terahertz therapy, which is LED light therapy for injuries. I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I work with healing energy of the body. And the bit I really love is working with the instruments and frequency of the body. So every cell in your body vibrates at a particular frequency, somewhere between 50 and 60 hertz. And if you leave your body as it is, it should be able to repair itself from most things. But with modern day living, toxicity, medication, the crap that they pump in the air, the shit that they put in the soil and all that kind of stuff, it puts your body in dis-ease. And what it does is it affects that energy. Your energy should rotate clockwise, but with all of these things that are going on in everyday life, actually your energy can rotate anti-clockwise.
I've got a question.
Push your body in dis-ease.
Does it matter if you're Northern Hemisphere or Southern? Would it be a different way?
No. and that's no offence
But-
to anyone in the northern or the southern hemisphere.
It's a question.
No.
It's a question because,
No.
and I'm glad you're here because I believe frequencies
Massive.
are the
Absolutely.
key to everything.
Yeah.
Key to everything.
Everything. I mean,
I
if
really
you want to go really, really, really deep, then you can talk about the God frequency, which is okay. So if you're really into like a deep religious level, and I could probably have quite a healthy debate with someone on this. I'm waiting for the day.
You won't find it here.
Oh, it's fine. Everything in the world is based on energy, frequency, and light. And some people believe that God is a person, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross. But actually, if you look at the scriptures and you look at the language that was used back in his day, he actually says, I am. And what he's saying is, I am the universe, the frequency. I'm not one person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it from that perspective, we're all an element of God. We're all an element of the universe. We all have that frequency that connects into the universe. So you could say that everybody's got a God spark in them.
Yeah, I think
So
the problem.
God to me I don't believe in God as an individual. I believe in a universal spirit.
Yeah.
No,
Well, God
that
is
affects everybody.
being, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's being.
exactly.
And the problem
So
is,
the energy is so important.
problem with the Bible is it's obviously a translation from Hebrew.
Massive. There's been
And there's been
many
lots of mistranslations of the Bible.
A little bit like Chinese whispers, right? At the end of the day.
yeah.
You kind of, yeah.
And a lot of history's been changed over the years as well. So you just got to really get your body centered back to that central place and put yourself back into that frequency, because the environment that we live in is not going to do it for you. It's up to us. And for me, it's helping people find what that means to them and helping them in the best way possible to get back into their center. And it can mean different things to different people.
I think a lot of it as well is everyone is so busy today, aren't they? Everyone's rushing around doing something, and then there's no just 5 minutes of relaxation just to, like you say, center yourself and just breathe. You know, no one I don't know about anyone else, but from the minute I get up, it's literally kids, lunch, school runs, straight to work, go and pick the kids up.
Noticed I'm not mentioned on that list at all.
No, you're not. No, you come at the end of the day.
Self-sufficient. Self-sufficient.
You come at the end of the day.
If I play the
You
cards
just
right.
get left last. You just get left to the last bit. That's why you're at the bottom of the priority list. And I think
You're not a child. Well.
yeah, well,
When I say I just sort the children out, you were one of
There's three children in this relationship, right? No, I think you're absolutely right. You're bang on. Society, and especially now with the cost of living and people just trying to get by on a daily basis to pay their mortgage and their bills and everything else, people are working so much harder. So there's less time unless you physically make a conscious decision to dedicate that time to yourself. There's less time to do these extra things for yourself. And actually, for me, one of the things is actually to teach people to bring themselves back into themselves, because it's up to us to take responsibility. I say to my family, if I don't work for whatever reason, because I've conked out or I've had a nervous breakdown or I'm having a bad day, and I take myself off, nothing else in the house works. Like you said, you get up in the morning, you're running around like a headless chicken, and you have all of these people and environments around you that you're responsible for. So it's really important for anyone that's the caregiver in the family to actually prioritise themselves and make everybody else around them realise that they are as important, because if they're not working, nothing else works.
You've only given yourself that title.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And we live in a society where everything's quick, instant gratification, instant access to pharmaceuticals. You've got a headache, you run for a paracetamol, And that in itself takes that responsibility away from people managing their own health and wellness. And what I do is to kind of bring them back into their centre and help them with easy ways in which we can do those things and build on it. Generally, my journey has taken me probably about 10, 15 years. And it's a gradual thing. And I think once you start, you're always on that cycle.
So was there anything that inspired you to get into this, or was it just sort of
what brought you to this? Because I know
the big story.
I know a bit about it.
Yeah, so Simon knows a little bit. So when I was 6, I had a major trauma. I was held up in an armed robbery with my family. And I
Locally?
think London,
Oh,
in
right.
London. And it was at the time, we lived in a time back then, only 20 years ago, clearly. We lived in a time back then where talking about this kind of stuff wasn't really accepted, and it wasn't the done thing, it wasn't the norm. So the following day after it happened, it was kind of like, not intentionally, but it was just brushed under the carpet and everyone just carried on like it had never happened. And your body naturally goes into fight or flight when something like that happens. And it then tries to protect you in only the ways that it knows best to make sure that that trauma doesn't happen again. When you're an adult, if you have a trauma, you know, something like that, heaven forbid, or you lose somebody, because that could be as traumatic on the physical body and on the mind. When you have a trauma, you already know who you are as a person at that point. So you know your boundaries, you know your personality. So if there are changes that you can notice, you will know, actually, that's as a result of that. I can go off and get therapy or whatever I need to do to deal with it. But when you're so young, my brother was only 8 as well. When you're so young, those boundaries aren't there.
No, not at all.
At all. And you don't know who you are. You just get up every day and play, right? At 6, everything, you know, everything's amazing. So it didn't come to fruition probably until into my 30s that I started noticing certain elements of my personality where I was like, oh, why do I do that?
Yeah.
You know, so if I had an argument with my partner or one of my kids or a family member, my brain would literally shut down.
Right.
You could be, a bomb could go off literally around me and I could just sit there and it would not filter at all.
Wow.
And that's not normal behaviour. To me, it was. To me, that was perfectly normal. So as I got older and I learned a little bit more about the world and I had my own boundaries, I realised actually there's elements of that weren't normal. And then I went on a bit of a self-discovery path, I guess. And that led me, I started doing a lot of meditation work to the point where I was maybe doing 5 sessions a week at home privately. And really kind of grounding myself and getting myself really centered so that I could make some key changes within me as a person without it really affecting my personality and how I presented myself to the world. And that led me to sound baths because I then started going, okay, well, I'm doing it at home on my own. It'd be quite nice to meet other people that are doing it and mix in that community and in that field. And I started doing a sister circle once a month.
Right, explain that to us, a sound bath and a sister circle.
Yeah, okay, so a sister circle is basically a group of females.
Yeah.
So you might have a group of friends that you get together and you just do a sharing circle and then you'll do a meditation with drums.
Sharing what's on your mind or
releasing things that aren't serving you at that point. So it's all about offloading the bad.
God,
so
you'd be hours.
Bring in the good. Okay. And it's in a really lovely, safe environment. And actually women, when they get together, and this kind of goes back to like the caveman days, the men used to go out and hunt and the women would gather. It's a gathering of women. It's a gathering of souls and spirits. And it's a really magical environment. And you can be in a room with 10 complete strangers you've never met and you feel like you've known them forever. It's a really lovely experience. So I started doing that and I was doing that for about a year or so. And then the shaman that was running that session, the lady that was hosting it in her venue, moved away up north. And then the shaman said, well, you know, unless we can find another venue, we can't do it. So that kind of split. And then I started doing a local one. And I had 2 or 3 sessions with this lady who was lovely. And I went into a meditation with her one evening. And I'm going to go proper woo-woo here now.
That's all right.
Bear with me. As part of my meditation journey, I met my 4 guardian angels. I've got 1 lady and 3 men. Everyone's got guardian angels. It's your choice whether or not you connect with them.
So physical?
Not, you can't. I've seen them in my mind's eye. They come to me when I'm in a meditation. They do also talk to me. So I do actually hear real voices.
Okay.
So you can strap me up in a straitjacket.
No, that's fine. No, that's all right.
I believe in that presence.
Yes, absolutely. They're always around you. And I get what I call downloads on a daily basis. Like literally thoughts will just drop into my mind from out of nowhere. And that's their way, I believe, of communicating with me. So that happens on a daily basis. But when I do the meditation, depending on the meditation itself, they might come to me in the meditation as well. And this particular meditation, the female guardian angel came to me, and I actually had a transcendental experience. Do you know what one of those is?
No, go on.
Okay, so that's where
I do, but tell the listeners.
So that's where your spirit leaves your physical body.
Right, okay.
And you go off into the energetic plane, have a little chat, and then you come back. So we went to this it was a bit
where were you physically?
Australian kind of barren area. That's where we went.
Where was your body physically?
I was laying on a hall floor in my local village hall.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
not
by yourself?
There was about 15 of us, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And we had the practitioner who was doing the sound work, and actually the instrument that did it was the didgeridoo. Wow. That was the frequency and the vibration.
Which is a very, very ancient instrument.
Yeah, really, really amazing.
And that's why you probably went to an Australian Baron sort of place.
There you go, yeah. So so anyway, my guardian angel turned around and said, you should be a sound healer. So I came back down into the room, woke up, went, thank you very much, went home and said to my husband, I'm going to be a sound healer. And he went, what? And I went, I'm going to be a sound healer. Now, I'm out of in the relationship that we've got. He's slightly autistic, but he's very structured and very driven and very focused on one thing. Mm-hmm. I'm the ideas. I'm the, oh, how long? How long was it?
I reckon it's well past.
Oh, yeah. Come on, no. Right.
Sorry. I'm glad you didn't I was held up in a robbery. Bang. Behind you.
Yeah. So he's like the focused, driven one, whereas I'm the ideas person. I'm the one that he would consider to be slightly batshit crazy. So when I came back and said, I want to be a sound healer, he was like, okay, dear.
Whatever. Yeah.
So the following day, I then went online and started looking at courses and bits and pieces. And then I went back to my shaman friend and said, look, if I want to train in this industry, who's the best person? I want to train with the best. And she said, this is the only person you want to train with. So I went, all right. So I don't use Instagram, but I found them on Instagram, then found their website, and then contacted them and signed myself up. And then literally about 6 weeks later, I started the course because, as serendipity would have it, the course started literally in the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
So I convinced my husband that I wasn't having a complete nervous breakdown and it wasn't one of my harebrained, batshit crazy ideas. And I went on the course, did about 120 hours of training, a couple of weekends in London doing practical work. Then we had to do some client case studies, which I did all with like local family and friends. And I put something out on my local group as well. So I had some independent people that I wasn't linked to, and passed with flying colours. And I've been doing it ever since. And I love it. Absolutely love it. It's the best thing I've ever done. And I just get up and I just get to make so much difference to people's lives, genuinely on a daily basis. And it just lights my heart from the inside out.
That's so nice. So you're saying that you do a lot of work with females. Have you ever had done work with males, males?
So the sound circle was the female work, but my client bank is both.
It's both.
It's men and women. Yeah. So I'm mainly women. I do have a couple of men, typically only if I know them or they're connected to somebody and I know. So if someone wanted to,
is there a reason for that? Or?
Just really because my studio's at home.
Oh, right. More of a personal.
It's more of a personal, private space thing. And it's just me at the moment within the business. I do have people that I've partnered with. So if you want help in another area that I can't help with, then I would put you in contact with somebody else. But really more from a safety point of view.
Of course, yeah.
And to keep hubby happy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he'd be like, nah.
Having all these guys.
Yeah, don't worry about guys running in and out. You know. I mean, I've got a couple of guy clients, but they're people I already know through networking, or they're husbands of clients that I've already got. I often get couples as well. So husband and wife or partners that will come and I'll do a group session with them as a couple. So, yeah. So I do a bit of a mix, but it's mainly women.
What do you suggest they sort of wear on those sort of... Does it matter, like a tracksuit-y
anything
type?
That's comfortable.
Comfortable, yeah.
Literally, because...
And do they have a mat with them, like a yoga mat or anything?
If it's one client on their own, I've got like a big massage table, and they'll lay on that, and I've got all the blankets and pillows and everything, so they don't need anything. So in terms of what to wear, it's whatever you're most comfortable in. If it's a couple, I've got a big blow-up double bed, so I use that for couples. And again, I've got all the blankets and pillows. think so.
So you're getting them into sort of real relaxed state. is
Yeah, so
basically
you're
what you're doing.
taking the brain levels down gradually. So I normally start with a meditation, and that will start slowing the blood pressure down, slowing the heart rate, and it will get the brain levels down. And then I'll start with the sound after about 15 minutes, depending. If I'm working with, I've got a client who's got dementia. So I actually do a lot more of sound work with her and not so much on the meditation because her brain is all over the place.
It's the last thing they forget, isn't it? Sound,
Yeah,
and
sound is
music.
so powerful for dementia.
Music is
And
links, doesn't it?
yeah,
So-
and she really can't sleep. So in fact, I brought them with me. I'll show you them. There's 2 particular frequencies that you can use with people that have got sleep troubles, or even if it's as severe as a dementia or a neurological disorder. Because scientifically, when you play these 2 frequencies together, they create a third binaural beat. Now, you've got a left and right side of your brain. This is the sciencey bit. You've got a left and right side of your brain. So if you're playing a C and a G, which are the 2 tuning forks I've got here, and I can play them on you and show you how it works. What actually happens is when you play them together, the frequency bounces off each other, and then it creates a third beat of an E.
Right,
okay.
yeah.
And then the brain bounces around for somewhere between 18 and 22 minutes going, well, I'm going to take the C and I'm going to take the G. What do we do with this other frequency that's up here? We don't know what to do with it. And it struggles and it tries to work out what it's going to do. And then it says, bollocks, I'm just going to shut down. Safely, obviously. So then it goes into its own meditative state and it completely goes to sleep because it's protecting itself.
Yeah.
And that's that fight or flight. It's protecting itself from that third frequency that it doesn't know what to do with.
It's an intruder, and it's
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So if I've got somebody that says to me, I can't sleep, or my brain's really busy, or something along those lines, or if they've got dementia, then that's I know exactly what I'm going to do. And these 2 bowls I've got here, they're both a C and a G, so if I play those 2 together, which I can do,
Make
and
an
then
E.
I've got the tuning forks as well. They do the same thing. Both of those will do exactly that. But they're 2 very, very different sounds. So these are metal, these are like a chime, whereas these are, like if you rub your finger on a crystal glass, it's that kind of noise. Yeah.
I do that.
So we
when
can have
I'm
a
out
little
to
play with those in a minute. And yeah, so it's basically about helping people centre themselves and bring themselves back into their physical body. But I work a lot with oils and, other methodologies that I use as well. So it's just chatting to people and seeing what they want. Sleep's a massive
think you'd
thing
love
at
it.
the minute.
I'm already loving it.
She's already
As when
loving
you
it.
said you wanted to come on, I said, Rachel, you're going to love this person. I think I could like when you banged that
Last week.
in a meeting. It just resonated forever.
Yeah.
Honestly, it blew me away.
it's
How
still-
powerful
it's
And
it
it
was.
your brain,
bounces
isn't
around
it?
the room
Yeah.
as well. I mean, when I was on my training course, that was my first instrument I bought. I walked in this room and I was like, I love you. You have got to come home with me. I'm buying you. I'm taking you home in one way, shape or form. And I came home and I had it in this protective bag similar to that one. And my husband was like, what's that? And I was like, no, I'll show you later. Because they're not cheap, these things. These things are not cheap, right? Here, that's nearly 1,500 quid's worth of equipment just sitting on that table there. So I was like, well, I won't tell him how much it was, right? I'll show him what it does first. and then I'll tell him how much it was. Anyway, so I got my husband and my 2 kids laying down on the sofa. And I got them to close their eyes. And I said, right, close your eyes, go to your happy place. And then I just started playing it. Bearing in mind, I've only just learned how to do it like that day. But I just started playing it around them. And my son had this like little grin, this little grin on his face. And they were just completely mesmerised, all 3 of them. And so after about 5 minutes, I said, right, open your eyes. And I was carrying on doing it. And they were like, whoa, how does that little thing there make that amazing noise?
Wow.
And that's why I take it out and about to show people, obviously in a controlled environment because of the cost, but I take it out and about to show people because you've got to physically feel it. You could talk about it all day long and go, well, it bounces around the room and it does this and that and the other, but the frequency and everything and the way that it vibrates in the body, because what sound actually does is it gets in at a cellular level and it shakes all the cells up, and it gives them a bit of a shake out and then gets out all of the static energy. That's how it works. And that's something that you can really only get when you experience it. which is why I like to bring them out and show people how to play with them.
Is there anyone that you've sort of come across that you thought, I really can't work with you because...
No,
not
at the moment. No, I've got, I'm talking to a lady at the moment. This is a first. I have to be very careful what I say because people have very strong opinions, but she's not COVID vaccinated. She didn't believe in it. She thought there was too many risks, and she decided not to be vaccinated. She had an operation literally in the last couple of months, and they gave her vaccinated blood against her will, and she's now, ironically, got a clot here at the top of her leg, and she blames the vaccinated blood. To fix it, they've put her on blood thinners to try and help the blood go around the body. The problem they've got is to get it to the right level so that they can actually help the clot. It would be too thin and it would actually damage the brain. So I'm working with her. I'm doing a lot of research at the minute and working with a couple of other people that I know and trust in the industry to think about the frequencies that we can use. And I know the 2 tuning forks I'm going to use, and now I'm looking at how to do it to try and break the clot down for her so that it's more manageable, and then she won't have to have this horrendous blood thinning thing that they've suggested, which she doesn't want anyway.
No, absolutely.
You know, she's a mum with 2 kids and stuff like that. So I do get ones where I'm like, whoa, never come across that one before. Let's go off and do a bit of research. But most of what I do is just general everyday health and wellness. So in the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of sleep. Sleep's a big one at the minute. People can't rest, they can't relax, they can't sleep, or they get broken sleep. So they wake up a lot in the night. I had a chap come to me last week or the week before with something called irritable leg syndrome, where it constantly shakes. But what it actually does is, again, that affects his sleep because it's constantly on the go. His body can't rest. I've had quite a few with blood pressure problems in the last few weeks. So I'll just listen to whatever their needs are, and then we'll come up with a solution based on all the things that I can work with. And if I can't help them, I'll let them know.
We've had a friend, haven't we, that she was telling us she had Reiki. I think it was Reiki. And she laid down. And she said, I was a bit optimistic when I went there, you know.
Optimistic?
She said I wanted to give it a go.
Pessimistic?
No, she said she wanted to give it a go. She was all up for it.
No, I was trying to correct her.
No, I did use the right word. She said, no, I'm up for this. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm going to open up. And then she laid down and she thought, God, is this actually for me? And then she doubted herself. And then the woman just said, lay down. And she said after that, she can't remember anything. But then something happened and she said, she felt something in her chest, didn't she? And she didn't tell the woman. And after that, like their almost debrief afterwards, she said, have you got something wrong with your chest or anything like that? And she just sat there and went, oh my God. She said it was really powerful. And after that, she was just a complete believer after that.
As part of my very long journey, a friend of mine is also a Reiki practitioner, and she was doing her training, and she said, I'm looking for a few people to practice on. And I was like, okay. She said, I'm only going to charge like a tenner. And I'm like, busy mum, 2 businesses. And I'm thinking, I'm going to pay someone £10 and I'm going to lay on a bed and fall asleep for an hour. Sounds absolute bliss to me. And it helps her with her business. I was like, I'm up for that. Had absolutely no idea what this Reiki thing was at that point. And oh my God, it just literally blew me away. I actually met Archangel Michael, who's the angel of protection, and he blessed me and kissed me on the forehead.
Wow.
And I was just like, whoa, that's like, this is like big stuff. And then my husband went along. I said, you've got to go and see Jane for this Reiki experience. And he had real like burning hot head and feet where the energy release coming out was so intense.
Wow.
I've got to try this.
So I'll give you a freebie in a minute.
Oh God.
So there's so many. I mean, are we doing the bomb banging thing? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know what it is. I'm just excited about all of it. I love all this stuff.
It might help your bloody heel or whatever it is.
I've got bad Achilles. I can't even say the name.
Achilles.
Yeah, I've done it in 3 months ago and it's still just as bad.
You should have told me and I could have brought some oils for you.
Look at it now.
There's an oil for everything.
There's a chemist down the road. Get some oils.
No, don't do that. You've got to
Engine oil.
The one of the things I stress to people is, you can walk into a Lloyd's pharmacy or whatever they're called these days. You can go into your Holland and Barrett, but most of this stuff is processed.
Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah.
Because it's mass marketed.
Yes.
I only use. Like, am I allowed to?
Your own natural oil.
Yes. I'm leaving. Yeah, I only use doTERRA oils because they're the only food grade oil in the world.
Right, okay.
And what you have to bear in mind is everything is about reducing the toxicity overload on the body, be it energetic or physical. And if you're putting all this toxic crap on your skin or you're inhaling it, you're then just adding to that toxic overload in your body, which is going to have a negative effect on how the body deals with itself energetically. So I only use doTERRA because it's food grade and it's a really strong potency. So if you were to have like the lemon oil, one bottle, I don't know the exact number, but one bottle, say the equivalent of 40 lemons, where you buy the Holland and Barrett one, it might only be 10 lemons. So the potency is a lot higher and it's food grade. So there's a couple you can't use as in to ingest because the actual oil or the plant can't be ingested. But the majority of them you can. And, you can mix them up in your face cream. So you can add a bit of frankincense into your face cream. Rosemary, rose is a really good one for regeneration of the skin. Frankincense is good for regeneration of the skin.
Frankincense.
So you can chuck them in to your face creams. And, I'm partial to the odd gin and tonic. So you can chuck it in your gin and tonic as well.
Come out from a session piss.
So you can flavour. So you can just have your plain. It's very economical because you can have your plain gin and tonic and you can flavour it with your oils. Also, I drink a lot of water, but I like sparkling water, not cold still water. And it's a really nice way to flavour your water, again, without adding any toxic load into your body. And you can cook with it. So if you're making chocolate pops with the kids, you can put a bit of orange in it to make chocolate orange, or you can do a mint, or, there's so many things. You can make pillow sprays. You could diffuse it. I could be all day.
I use like the lavender one.
Why don't you do your own brand of these things and
do you know what? Online? You could, but there's so many people that already do an amazing job. Why reinvent the wheel?
Okay.
There's one lady I use for my face oils, and she uses castor oil. Castor oil, basically, top tip. Castor oil is the best oil in the world. It's so good for the body, and it's got so many really good uses. So look up castor oil. But her face lotion.
Riley, can you write this down, please?
Her face lotion is mainly castor oil, rosemary, and one other ingredient, and it's all just natural.
So she rubs that on herself.
No, she makes it and then sells it. Yeah. Right. I think it's called Skin Food. I think that's the name of it.
You put oils on yourself every day.
So you've got to make sure. So what do you use?
Depends. I don't really use a lot on my face. I don't like oils on my face because I find it's really greasy and I don't like that. But I use a lot of like Claret's oils, so tonic oils. Oh no, are we not meant to do that? Okay. Thanks, Simon.
Okay, so
she's bad, isn't she?
So
I need to get all that.
Just have a look at the ingredients of your Claret's.
Okay.
And then come back to me next week, and I'll show you another way of doing it that's not toxic.
Okay. Thanks.
Because anything you put on your skin, on your hair, that's in your bloodstream in less than a minute.
Really?
Yes. And then, of course, that's flushing around your body.
That might be why she's so miserable.
So anything that goes on your hair, on your nails, on your skin, that's in your bloodstream. It's about 45
Well, they say put medicine, rub it on your feet, didn't they? Like Vicks.
Oh, yeah, I do. So doTERRA do a blend called On Guard. So it's a blend of defence oils. And between September and February, I rub it on my kids' feet every night before they go to bed. And it helps to protect from all the school bugs. You love it with kids and stuff going to school. And if someone's got a bit of a bug, because everyone catches something at some point, right? We can always do our best, but you can't get everything. Then I do a touch version, which is blended with a fractionated coconut oil, and then I just rub it on their pulse points. If they're at school and they've got exams, my daughter's coming through that preteen hormone phase. So I'll mix up a little blend of oils for her and she'll take it into school and just rub it on. My son goes into school and they're like, what's that smell? It's like, it's my mummy's oils.
Best smelling kid around.
So there's an oil for everything, and it's fabulous because it allows the body to do what it does best, which is work with itself naturally without any toxification.
Because I think my body's work, because you said to me the other day, because I've been, well, not the best start this year, have I? I've been quite poorly, but you said to me the other day, I'm really worried about you because you seem to be sleeping a lot at the moment. And I just said, it's my body's way of coping with something at the moment. It shuts down and just sort of says, everyone just leave me alone. I'm just recovering. And then after that, I'm okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of frequency will help with what you've got problems with.
Well, have a chat with me after.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I can make some suggestions.
No, just do it in front of 47,000 people.
You don't want to air your medical history. But no, I just love doing it. I love doing it. And I love the success stories, when someone comes back to me and says, oh, I'm sleeping so much better. Because sleep is a massive thing. I don't know about you two. I can put up with no food, but I cannot put up with no sleep.
Horrendous.
I am an absolute rat bag with no sleep. I'm a proper grump.
Meet my wife.
Yeah,
Exactly
we get on quite well, right? So sleep is so important for your everyday health and wellness. And if you just want to put yourself out in the world in the best light possible, you've got to get a good 7 hours sleep a night. I actually brought, you want to try this one? So I brought a couple of oils.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Sorry, they won't be able to smell it down the microphone. So if you're having an afternoon slump.
Describe the smell, Rach.
So this is, do you want some as well?
Yeah.
Right, so what I want you to do is rub it in, and then I want you to give yourself a really long, deep inhale like your life depends on it. And tell me if you can feel it in the front cortex of your brain. Do 2 or 3 really big, deep. And you should start to feel a little tingle up here. This is a really, Can you feel it? Yeah.
Oh.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So this is,
really fruity.
Can you guess what it is?
It's like,
it's lemon.
Is it lemon?
It's got
Yeah,
lemon
it's got
in it.
lemon in it.
It's actually orange. It's orange.
Yeah.
Orange, of course it is.
Yeah, it's wild
Citrus.
orange citrus. So this is a really good one.
It's
So
really
if you're
good.
having that afternoon slump, let's say you've had like a really carbohydrate lunch and you're feeling a bit,
Or at work,
and you're in the office and you're staring at the screen, a couple of drops of that. I was at I did a wellness event in December last year, and there was like 40 stall holders, and they all got to like 3 o'clock, and they're all like, "Oh, we go home. What time is it?" And I went round, and I was like, "Come on!" And I got all sniffing the orange, and they're all like, "Oh, it's that batshit crazy woman from that stall over there." So that's a really lovely one to do for your mid-afternoon lull, as I call it. That's a really good one for autistic or non-neurotypical kids who have outbursts. That's a really nice way of bringing them back into their centre. Lavender's another. Wait for that. Give that about 15 minutes to get into your lymphatic system, and the smell will go completely because it absorbs into the body. And then we'll do the lavender. The lavender's really good for sleep. That's a massive one, and I've got a lot of people on lavender at the minute.
Yeah, I've got an eye mask. I love a good eye mask.
Yeah.
So I put that on, and that's got lavender beads in it, so you can actually move those around.
Yeah, because the smell of that will go up your nose, and then that will go down.
I'll do some things right.
Yeah.
So get me in trouble.
With the lavender,
really.
See, I'm really lucky. I sleep really, really well, but of course, I do all these good things to make sure that I'm centred as much as I possibly can be. With my perimenopausal symptoms, what I get the odd night where I'm a bit like tossing and turning and get a bit grumpy. So lavender works really well. You do it exactly the same, 2 or 3 little drops, 2 or 3 massive sniffs. And I'm normally asleep in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Really?
You can diffuse it in the room as well. So about half an hour before you go to bed. If you come and have a treatment in my treatment room, I've got that burning in the room before you get there. So it's all nice and calm. Because it's a neat version, it's not blended with anything. You can make your own pillow spray out of it, which is just water, and you can put a carrier of a perfume accelerant in it just to protect the water. So it's got a bit of preservative.
Yeah.
I tend to make it neat, and it lasts it for 2 or 3 days, so it's pure. and then just spray that on your pillow. It's got so many uses.
Would it be best
you
if
can
I put
mix
it on
to make an antihistamine blend.
Oh,
So if you get any bites or anything, or if you've got hay fever, mix it. I've got to test myself now. Lemon and something else. Lavender, lemon, and come back to me in a minute. Very menopausal brain. You can mix it and you make your own antihistamine blend, and you can eat it. You can just donk in a little vegetable capsule, donk straight in. I've got the little nasal sniffers. They've got like a little cotton thing inside it. So I actually make a neat blend for my kids for hay fever.
Should we read them out so people that are listening knows what they are?
Yes, it's doTERRA Wild Orange. That's for the uplift.
Right.
And then doTERRA Lavender for sleep.
Okay. And where would you buy those?
So you find a practitioner like myself, or you can buy them online.
Okay, so you sell them as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We get
So
you
you can go to
information
Harmony
at the
and
end.
Sound, email myself, and I'll send you some information out.
So harmonyandsound.co.uk.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite oil to work with then? Obviously depending on what.
Sorry, can I just clarify? It's Harmony in or Harmony and? Harmony in sound.co.uk.
Yeah. And the thing I like to do as well, for me, it's all about preparing somebody and and building up their confidence. So I will work with samples. So I will always say to someone, if I've got the oils already, I'll make you up a blend. You can try it before you buy it.
Oh, nice.
For something like a lavender, maybe £34 a bottle. And although it's a 15 ml, that could last you 6 months to a year because it's so potent. You don't need that much, depending on what you're using and how often you're using it. But something like a frankincense, which is great for pain management, that's a premium oil. That's £102 a bottle for the same size.
Blimey.
So I do a membership program. So people can pay a small membership fee, £24 a year, and then they get 25% off all the oils
Right, okay.
for the whole year.
That's
so
good.
if you're investing in something that's a bit more premium, like a chamomile or a rose, because the number of petals they have to crush to make the rose, it's in the millions. So rose is a premium oil, frankincense and a couple of others. But most of them are like 15 up to 40 for a bottle. And now I've got a little medicine cupboard of oils. And my kids will just say to me, Mummy, I've got a sore throat. Can you mix me up one of your witch's potions? And off I go. But there's normally, it's pretty much an oil for everything.
And so would they work, not instantly, but they would help a lot quicker than sort of if they did have a sore throat and they said to you, Mum, make me something up. It would literally work instantly.
Yeah, so hubby actually said to me, oh, my throat feels like sandpaper. So I mixed him up something and it was gone by morning.
Wow.
Yeah. And something like the wild orange, that starts working instantly. And the lavender would as well.
Still,
I give it about 15
Give me a
minutes.
little energy
and it'll
boost.
absorb. Do you want some as well?
You can smell it. Or...
Well, have a go. It's quite strong.
My job is.
Oh, okay. So I love working with the oils because, they work with the body's natural system and help the body to do what it should do on its own without any interference.
So do you have a favourite one to work with? Or I quite like cedarwood as an oil and a smell. Like I burn that. I like any
yes,
smell.
you burn that all right, didn't you?
I quite like the smell of vanilla.
Okay.
But in terms of working with clients, frankincense is a really, really good one.
Right.
Although it is a premium oil, and I actually sold a bottle to someone yesterday, the chap who's got the irritable leg. I mixed him up frankincense and deep blue, which is like a deep heat. Gave him a sample to try, and now he's bought the oils from me because he said they were really beneficial. He also gets quite a lot of pain. He's a guitar player, so he gets quite a lot of pain, almost like arthritic in his hand. And because they're neat, he puts them in his bath as well. I said, if you're having a bath,
Drop them in,
drop a few
I do
bits
that
in
with
your bath,
Opus.
and that'll then get into the body that way.
Opus
And he
oil.
really liked it in the bath. So they're just so flexible. Frankincense is a really beautiful oil because
It has a smell. Does it have a smell? Or...
It's. I didn't bring it with
Does
me.
the heat from the bath entice it, bring it out?
Frankincense has got a bit. No, it can with the citrus ones. There is one. Serenity is a really nice one that's got quite a nice calming smell to it. Frankincense has got a bit of a woody kind of smell to it, so you're going to love it or hate it.
Woody.
Yeah. it's not a nice fragrant like a citrus or a lavender or a lemon or a clementine or something like that. But frankincense, in terms of what you can use it for, is really diverse. But I'll be honest, I quite like, the wild orange and the lemon with my gin as well. So,
Yeah, I can see that.
Lick it,
Shot of gin.
But then, you've got, lemons are really good everyday oil because you can use that as a citrus for your afternoon slump. But actually, lemon is a really good. There's a lady called Barbara, I think her surname's Anderson. She's like a lady really big on homeopathic work in the 60s. And she's got a massive big YouTube channel, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. And she does videos, and she did one about lemon. And lemon actually helps to flush all the toxins out of the body on a daily basis. If you get up in the morning, a couple of drops of lemon in your water or your tea, really, really good for your system.
See, lemon gives me a headache. And maybe that's it. That's just the
getting rid of your evilness.
Could just be the toxicity coming out of your body, But there's something, and you'll find there's not one oil that just does one thing. There'll be 3 or 4 you can use. So more often than not, someone will take a picture of their little collection of oils and say, right, I've got this problem. Can I work with it with the oils that I've got? So yes, it's great if somebody gets introduced to a new oil because it opens up new avenues, but actually also people are all on a budget, right? Yeah. So if we can get them to work with the oils they've already got, then they'll just send me a little picture and say, right, this is what I've got. This is the problem. Can I? And I'll go, well, look, you can use that one, and I'll send you a little sample of this one, mix them together and see what happens. Yeah. So.
Brilliant. Really
so do you work a lot with your kids as well? You said you work a lot with your kids. Is it? Because I know with our kids, if we get a bit of new equipment, like camera equipment, like kids in the studio, we need to test this out. Is that what it's like?
Yeah, they love. So my son's autistic. He absolutely loves this bowl here, the chalice, which is the C. He absolutely loves that. And more often than not, if they have trouble sleeping, they'll come and say, "Mummy, can you do your bowl on me for bedtime?" And I'll go, "Yeah." I've got a really lovely big rain stick, runs for about 10 minutes, and it literally sounds like dripping water. It's beautiful. You just lay there and you think you're in like jungle or a rainforest or something. And my son really likes that, because that's very calming. I just love it. On Mother's Day, it was really sweet actually. On Mother's Day, they got up in the morning, like did me breakfast. And then they did a sound bath on me. So they got me in my treatment room, laid me down, covered me up with a little blanket, because I've done it on them. Yeah. And they were replicating, and I could hear these little noises as they were telling each other what to do. And one of them would like rub my feet, and Toby would get the bowl, and he'd be like, I didn't let them touch this one because this is like 800 quid, but they had to go at that one. And they were doing the bowl around my head, and they had the drum out, and it was it was actually really heartwarming. It's probably one of my fondest Mother's Day memories, because it came from their hearts.
Absolutely.
And they've taken in
they
what
love
you've
it.
done as well. That's the thing.
And my husband, about 10 minutes he's snoring his head off when I do.
That's what I would do.
He says to me, he makes me laugh. He says to me, I can't sleep, my brain's too busy. And literally in about 15 minutes he's out. Gone, C&G, get my tuning forks out.
He's like, I can't sleep, tosses and turns. And he goes,
I think it's also really important. I mean, medication does have a place. It will have a place for a lot of people. But I think as a society, as I said before, it's too easy to reach.
We head to it too quick.
We head to it too quickly, and we're taking away the responsibility to bring ourselves back to our original source.
And we're almost getting used to it, and our bodies
and it's stopping to work quite as effectively. So I actually have people that come to me that have been using medication for a period of time, and actually some of them years, and then it stopped working or is not becoming as effective. So then you'll bring in some oils and some maybe sound work or whatever might be needed. But I think working with children is amazing, because actually what my kids now know is that that's not the only route, and actually it's not the first route. We always look at the oils and other ways in which we can combat something before we reach for the medicine cupboard. And I think it's really important, because they're going to be our future in 20 years to come. They're going to be the next generation, and we're changing the way that the world's going to be moving forward. So I think that's really, really important. So they love my sound work.
And this might take a little bit of pressure off the NHS stress and a little bit of
Exactly.
pressure off that as well.
Exactly. And I think the more that people reach for the medicine cupboard, the worse it's going to get.
Mm.
And
Well,
just
the more
take
immune
ownership.
we'll get,
Mm-hmm.
medicines won't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we're that far away from that now, to be
No.
honest.
Mm.
I
No.
meet so many people that have had problems and it's not working anymore. And, you know, some people take so many pills, they would probably rattle.
Yeah. I
if
mean,
they
touch
didn't
wood,
absorb.
we're quite lucky that we
Yeah.
don't. And
Well,
we hardly, if we've got a headache, we just deal with it. You know,
Yeah.
we don't
It's
sit
the
there and
side
go,
effects
"Oh, I
of
need
the
this."
side effects.
Peppermint.
They take loads of
Headaches.
pills and then they take loads of others to battle the side effects of the
Yeah,
pills
I
they
know.
take.
And then you're on that constant
It's just
hamster wheel, aren't you?
mental. Mental.
And the other thing to say is as well, with medication, all it does is it masks the symptom. It doesn't
Not the root
work
cause.
with the body to fix
fix
the
it.
problem.
The root
Exactly.
cause, yeah.
Whereas when you're working with something natural, like an oil, or you're
Hmm.
working with sound or a tuning fork or whatever it might be, you're actually getting into the body at a cellular level and you're changing it at a cellular level. So that's why this method works better. The difference is if I'm working with somebody that might have irritable leg syndrome or blood issues, blood pressure, it's not going to happen overnight like a medication might. It might take a week, couple of weeks for the body to get used to it. And, you know, if you change any pattern in your body, it takes a while for it to kind of like reboot and get started again. There is a cost element as well. Technically, the NHS is free, although you have your prescription cost of what, £11.60 or whatever it is nowadays. So technically, it's people think it's free, but it's not really. But you know, it's cheaper than buying a bottle of frankincense at 102 quid. Do you know what I mean? I had someone said to me the other day.
But then if you break that down into, if you use it over 10 months,
exactly
the same price.
People don't see that though.
Yeah.
No,
People don't
it's
see
the,
that.
it's the one cost,
the
isn't
one
it? It's
cost,
the
yeah.
I had a
cost straight
lady
away.
come to me literally this week who's heavily pregnant and has got really bad vertigo and she's passing out and she's like losing consciousness. So I said to her, well, look, these are the 3 oils that you should put together. I don't have all of them, sadly, so I can't do a sample. But buy them, and if there's any problems, I'll buy them back and I'll just use them as my sample thing. And I think it was like 140 quid. Frankincense was one of them. Deep heat was another, and then I think it was thyme or something. And she went, "Oh, it's a bit expensive." And I was like,
But if this is going to
pure.
stop you from,
I said, and nothing else is working. You've been to the doctors and
especially being
specialists and
pregnant, you can't
you're
take
pregnant.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll hold fire on that and see if she comes back. But yeah, so
Right.
you can eat the horse to water, but sometimes you can't make it drink either.
Of course. Right, so this is coming out on Monday. We usually have our guests on a Friday, but we've been done something special for you because you've got a couple of things coming out that you want to talk about. A couple of dates.
Yeah. So one of my heart-centered things to do is to bring wellness into people's everyday lives. And I even advise people. A chap the other day said to me, it was Amrit actually, turned around and said to me, how can I get myself calmer? So I emailed him some suggestions. Great top tip, YouTube is brilliant for like 10-15 minute meditations. So I said to him, just go online, type in 10-15 minute sleep meditation. His was the sleep thing. I said, and just find one where the voice resonates with you, and then go and do that. It's not going to cost you anything.
There's loads on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need
You've got,
visuals,
like,
do you?
Calm app. I've not used it
Oh,
myself. but
Spotify,
you've
you can put loads of things in your phone.
so much stuff.
And they
out
go on
there.
for hours, some of them. You can have them while you're asleep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we can start talking about 432 hertz frequency, but if you can get it recorded at 432 hertz frequency and not 430. No, maybe a conversation for another day. But so 432 hertz is resonant with your physical body. 430 isn't. So if you're listening to music, so all the compressed music that came out, in the 70s or 80s, they compressed the music, didn't they? It used to be recorded at 432. Now it's recorded at 430. And although it's only a very minor difference of 3 hertz, that's a massive difference to the energetic level of your body.
Wow.
So all this compressed music is actually really bad for your energy. So if you can get music that's recorded at 430, if you're a piano player or if you play an instrument, when it gets tuned, ask the tuner if they can tune it to 430, not 432. Little top tip. So events, I've got 2 coming up. I've got a wellness day, which is for men and women.
You said it the wrong way around.
What?
It's 432 is the what you want it on.
Did I say it the wrong way around?
Yeah.
So
I think you did.
430 is the compressed version.
Yeah.
432 is what we want it to
So you
be.
want
Is what
things
you want it
tuned
to
to
be.
432.
So
Yeah.
tune it to 432, not 430.
Okay, what are these 2 dates you've got?
So,
actually, one you've got covered, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've got two events coming up. One's a general health and wellness day. We're doing a really lovely deep dive hypnotic meditation. I work with a chap called Nathan, and he's a hypnotic coach and mental health and wellness coach as well. So we've partnered together. So he's going to be doing a really lovely deep dive hypnotic meditation. Then we're going to go in and do a bit of journaling, go out and do like a grounding walk if it's not pissing down with rain, which actually we're looking hopeful at the minute.
As long as it's
sun's
pissing
out
down
today.
at 432 hertz.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You can always just go hug a tree, you'll be fine. So we're doing the deep dive meditation. I'm going to do a really lovely sound bath, and it's going to be a really lovely calm day just to get yourself completely centred. That's on the 29th of April.
Okay, 29th at whereabouts?
That's at Hempstead House Hotel.
Oh, I know,
Spa
we know
in
Hempstead.
Backchild.
Yeah.
That's got really lovely grounds, and it's a really nice facility. And the staff there are absolutely lovely. So we're holding that there. And then in May, I've got a Menopause Wellness Day. So that's for women who are struggling, maybe coming into the menopause and starting to experience certain symptoms. And that could be anything from the typical ones are like hot flushes, mood swings. One of the ones I had when I first started, yeah. She just stuck her finger up. You got your hot flushes and your mood swings and things like that. One of the ones that I actually had, which was my first symptom of perimenopause, and I actually thought I had nits, was excessive itching. Yeah. And it's not common in the Western world. Apparently it's really common in like Japan and China. Right. But it's not common out here. And I actually went to the doctors and said, I can't stop scratching. I genuinely thought I had nits. I kept saying to my husband, check my hair. But then it spread like into my legs. I felt like I had worms crawling around my chest. It was horrible. And apparently out there, that's the first sign. But out here, you don't. So it's kind of dispelling some of the myths around what is menopause, what are the symptoms. I've got 4 facilitators coming in. I'm one of them. And there's 3 other ladies. One is a specialist on oils only. That's all she does. Whereas I'm more of a general practitioner for the oils. Then we've got a lady talking about movement. It isn't just all this like mindful, meditative yoga. It's everything. Sometimes, depending on the type of person, you might not want to do yoga 5 times a week. You might not be able to physically. So it's actually just about moving the body and get that body moving on a daily basis. So she's going to be talking a bit about that. And then I've got a really beautiful lady by the name of Jeanette who's coming in to talk about dispelling the myths because she owns a menopause coaching business. So we're just talking about all the different aspects of menopause and how you can combat it naturally and how those methodologies will work with each other. And again, a really nice, calm, relaxed day. All food and drinks included in both. And that one's on the 8th of May.
8th of May. Perfect.
And on the website, I'll be doing others. So I do private sound baths in various areas over Kent. And if people want to do wellness days in their place of work, I do that as well. So I'll go out. I've just done one at a business in Rochester where we cleared out a few desks and all the staff laid down on their yoga mats with their blankets and pillows. And I did a really lovely wellness hour for all of the staff. Because a lot of businesses now have what they call ESG responsibilities, economic, social and geographic, and the social covers their staff. And they have to prove what they're doing to look after the well-being of their staff. If their group numbers, I think it's like 10 or 15 staff or more, they have to actually report that back as part of their HR responsibilities. So we can come in and do work on that as well. So if anyone's got any ideas, just email us. And we'll be happy to chat.
With my work, we do, because I work for the NHS as well, so we actually have once every 2 months, I arrange a massage therapist to come in and give everyone, they have to book appointments on and everything like
lovely.
that.
Get the gong bird in.
Get the gong bird. No gong banging.
No, we do need a staff away day, and we do have to have sort of like wellness and stuff.
So what we can do there is we can hire a venue and we just bring all of your people in, so it's a private event. I've just a client of mine. She's a PT and personal trainer, and she's all about fitness. And I'm working with her for myself actually. And she just booked me for 2 private sound baths for her clients. The first event sold out in 12 hours.
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is good. So that one's in Maidstone, but that's a private event. So, yeah.
You're also a singer, aren't you?
I do. I'm in a band as well, yeah. We actually did a gig on Saturday. It's called Glass in Hand. There's me, Colin, Malcolm and Rob. Glass in Hand, yeah.
And what sort of stuff do you sing? You singing covers or your own?
Yeah, it's all covers.
From
so
what?
anything from like the Hollies to the Carpenters to Cher, Dolly Parton, you name it. We do everything. It's such good fun. Yeah, it's really good fun. Bit of Elvis, bit of... But this is the thing. I was saying to somebody the other day, I sing this stuff every week and then I can never remember the names of any of it.
So you're the singer.
I'm one of the singers, yes. There's me and Colin do the singing, then there's 2 guys who do guitar, bass and guitar. And then we have like the backing track that we work with.
Oh, right. You don't have a drummer?
Fun. Not yet, no. Not yet. But actually, interestingly, you've got 87 meridians in the roof of your mouth, and the only way to activate them is to talk or sing.
There you go.
There you go.
Wicked.
So it's good to talk.
Well,
you're going to touch and go your tongue up in your mouth.
I know I don't look it, but I got my 50th this year.
So have I.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're not an August girl, are you?
No, November.
Oh, you're a little bit older.
Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot.
But on my 50th, I'm having loads of musician friends come in. We just all jump on stage.
Amazing.
You can come along if you want. You're invited.
When is it?
August. August the something after the recording.
I'll have to check because we've just been booked for a gig in August as well.
It's a Sunday. You'll be all right.
Oh, that should be fine then. We're doing like a summer party for a local cricket club.
Daisy will be there. Daisy Potter. She's a singer. It's Daisy Potter, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's on next, actually. Daisy's on Friday. And she talks about her business of health and safety.
She talks about everything.
And she's got a dance. She's got a dance academy, and she's a singer as well. She's been on X Factor. She's done it all. So she's due on Friday.
I've won a few little karaoke competitions.
Wicked.
We just do it for fun. We just love getting together and meeting up, and having a bit of a laugh. And I say we do the odd gig here and there, but it's, for us, it's just heart centered. We just do it because we love singing, we like performing. And it just gets you away from all the electronics and all the...
It's something about music. Like I say, I've got friends that I was in a band with at school, and every now and then we still meet up after 30 odd years.
Yeah.
One of them's now Iggy Pop's drummer.
Really amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, everyone's still involved in music. That's the weird thing about it.
If
all
I'm
still involved.
Shape or form.
Some shape or form. Like
It's
even
so
selling
good for the
guitars.
soul.
One of them's does mastering of tracks for people. All involved in music. Nearly all of us are in a band still.
It's so good for the soul. And if I'm having a really bad day, I just crack out the microphone and bash out a few tunes.
I listened. If I know that I've got so much washing to do, or getting out the tumble dryer, or putting it away, or doing something really mundane, and you think I don't really want to do this, I just put music on and think, and then it goes so much quicker.
Yeah,
it's
it
so
does.
much quicker.
So good for you.
So much easier. As
So
well.
good for you. Yeah, I love music. I grew up with it though. My dad was in a band, so I used to sit on my dad's knee when I was playing his guitar at like the age of 5. And he was in a band called Ted Turd and the Tool Sheds back in the day.
That's a cool names.
And his mate was in a band called Shaven Haven. That was great. That was proper headbanging music.
I've always wanted to call the band Tangible Flange. But none of the other members will let me go.
So I've grown up with music, literally from like the age of 5 all my life. I would sleep with like proper headbanging music going on in the background, and that's maybe that's why. Maybe it's got nothing to do with the trauma. Maybe it's just my brain shuts off because it's so used to it because of my dad.
We've had a breakthrough today.
We've had a breakthrough. It's got nothing to do with the trauma at all. It's my dad's fault.
Get your gongs out for the lads.
Okay.
Do you want me to move your...
Yeah, I'll move this one here.
Are you going to hear it all right, do you
think so. I've got a couple of mics on you, so you never know.
Let's have a little look.
We'll give it a go. Right, anything you want us to do?
So I'm just going to, yes. So close your eyes. I should be taking my shoes off so I'm not clinking and clattering.
So you can take them off if you want.
Should I take them off?
It's up
and
to
then
you.
I'm not... Hang on a minute.
Do you want me to hold your gong while you take your shoes off?
No, you're
I've said that before.
I hope you haven't.
Why you strip off and take your shoes off? Yeah, strip off there, love.
She's now taking the shoes off, everyone.
It's only my shoes.
Like, been hypnotised a few times and stuff like that.
Did it work?
It did. For me,
Yeah.
it did. But
me,
you
it doesn't.
said
It doesn't work on me.
you've
doesn't work
always
on
got
me.
this block saying, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it.
I've always got the respect to not open my eyes, but I'm not hypnotised, if I'm honest.
Tell me easily.
It's a nice relax, but
I find it quite meditative,
Yeah.
but I never really go
I don't
that
feel
deep.
I've gone
No. I do more in a meditation and with my sound. Oh,
hello.
and there you go. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I get more out of doing my own meditation and my own work personally. But like with anything, it takes time to train the brain. The first few times you'll do a meditation, your ego massively will try and get in the way, and it'll be going, don't forget you've got the washing to do, don't forget you've got this to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, in a way, your ego doesn't want you to relax. So it takes a little bit of brain training, a good few weeks maybe. And one of the top tips would be, imagine the ego, all those thoughts that come across your mind, imagine them like a cloud. So just allow them to pass, but don't give them time to stop.
Because they do teach meditation, because I know our son, he's in year 3, and they actually teach it in schools now.
I think they should.
have
So
yoga
good.
and
They do.
meditation classes.
It's
as
so
well,
used
and
to
he
it.
loves
So
it.
good.
He
So
loves
used to it.
And actually, I think it's, you know, my daughter's school do something called, something place it's called. And that's all about mental health and wellness. So there's a place they can go to.
Yeah.
Oh, Tilly's got that.
Yeah,
actually,
if they're having a really bad day, they can either go and speak to one of the teachers, or they can go off into one of these safe places,
Yeah.
and they can just sit
It's
and
all they need. I
read
think
a
kids
book
should
on a
be- I think
beanbag.
kids should be counselled. I really do.
Yeah.
You know.
Or my son's school have a counsellor that comes in. They work with some of the non-neurotypical kids. Because typically they're the ones that would struggle a little bit more. But yeah, health and wellness in the school place is so important.
Absolutely.
Right, close your eyes
sorry.
then.
Okay. And you, Riley, close your eyes.
Yeah, I'll come around to Riley in a sec.
Remember, he's got no sense of smell, though, so I don't know if
That's all right, we're not using oils. Imagine that for half an
Wicked, isn't it? Isn't it wicked?
It's really strange.
Especially when you started on this one, didn't you? You did this one.
I did that one as well, yeah.
That was a different piece.
Yeah, I have to go on the other side and do that one.
Because it's
a little bit higher.
It felt like I had it in one ear and I could still feel stuff outside. But then as soon as you moved or did something to this ear, that's all I could hear.
Yeah.
I literally blocked everything else out.
Yeah, it just only that.
It was that sound. So before I could hear like all the street and everything.
The mics are doing a great job at picking all this out, by the way. I actually took my earpiece out because I don't think it was levelling me correctly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Just from what looks like a bowl at the end of the day.
You can hear the other tone now, the extra tone coming. You can hear the E coming up now.
And then you can use your voice as well if you're brave enough.
Well, we heard you slightly, yeah. But just
so when
faintly.
I do one-to-one work, I do sing with the bowls if I'm called to do it. I get downloads, you see. I get told what to do sometimes.
I'm really sleepy now. Like just sort of not glazed over in a bad way, but just the concentration in the sound just sort of washes over you.
That's what your brain's doing.
Yeah.
It's going, okay, where do I put these frequencies? What do I do with them?
That's amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. And then
Really
you've got
good.
the tuning forks. I'll show you those as well.
Oh, yeah. And what are these?
And these
set
are
at?
the
So these are the C and G.
Right.
So you have weighted and unweighted. Weighted, so they literally have like weights on the ends.
So they probably sustain a bit longer, do they?
They do, and actually if you use a weighted one, I can then put it on your body and the vibration goes
will
down
draw
the
down
shaft
quick,
of the fork, and then it goes into the cells. So where I'm working on this lady with the clot, we're going to be doing both. We're going to be doing physical, where it will touch the body, and then we'll be doing that as well.
Okay.
So we put dose. So these are the unweighted ones.
So
So
my
these are
problem
the
is
same
my-
frequency as these two,
okay.
Right.
but audibly they sound different because these are metal. and
Yeah, but
those
they're
are-
still knocking out the same.
Yeah.
time.
So if you close your eyes,
Let me take this out.
so these are the same tone,
Yeah.
but a different sound. And these are what I use with my dementia patients. So I could just do this for 20 minutes.
Mm.
I'll do it on you as well. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Frequencies are amazing. Have you seen on the internet where you can have a tuning fork?
Yeah.
You put it there, you have a little ball on a string next to touching the tuning fork, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you hit the tuning fork here and nothing happens. But if you hit the same frequency tuning
They
fork,
bounce.
you hit this one,
And the
that one
And
will
the other
start
one
bouncing.
starts bouncing. Yeah.
It takes the frequency, and
Yeah.
it recognises the frequency and starts bouncing the ball. It's amazing.
It's really weird because you sort of hit that and you sort of, I'm assuming you put them here, I didn't sleep, but then it put my brain then went back to the bowl and I could almost hear the bowl going off again in
Well,
my
it's the same
brain.
frequency, so it wouldn't be
So,
surprised
yeah,
if they'd
see.
probably start again.
Wow.
They would if they were exactly the same. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that YouTube
Yeah.
video before. Also, you've got things like somatics. So every frequency has got its own pattern in nature.
Oh, okay.
And this is what I do. So I do, we're talking about like the whole school thing. I've been into schools before and done wellness and health and wellness sessions with kids from like age 3 right up to senior school. And it's great because I can take my Tibetan bowls in with the little, you wouldn't take these in because they'd just get trashed. They wouldn't last 5 minutes. But you can get a Tibetan bowl which is made of 7 different metals. The traditional Tibetan bowls are made of 7 different metals. the modern processed stuff these days are made of the same material that a bell is made of.
Oh, right. Okay.
But the old traditional Tibetans are made of 7 different metals all combined together. And I've got 2. I've got one that you can stand in, so you can then vibrate so it goes in the body from the feet up, or you can put it on the head so it works the way down. That's really good if you want to energise and oxygenate the body.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if I did it, I could have brought it. It's quite big and heavy. It's quite tricky to carry. But if I put it on your head and play it, you'll start to feel the oxygen coming down, depending on how clear your circulatory system is. I can get it down to kind of like here. And if I do it on hubby, it gets to about his knees. And you can actually feel your blood feels a bit like champagne going around your body. You can feel the oxygen going around your body. But it's really good fun because with the kids, we can fill it with water. And I've got a singing bowl, which sounds like a dolphin when you play it. And then you get the somatic. So if you play it, you can get the water to dance like a little fountain. And the kids love it. They think it's great. And of course, it's science as well. So that's really good fun to do stuff like that. So any schools that want to have a chat with me, I'll just come in and do it because I enjoy doing it. It's great fun.
Excellent.
And then I can do little mini sound baths with them. And for the older ones, I can do sound baths so they can get to experience a mini version of what we've done there. Yeah.
Wow. That's
brilliant.
So cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's been great, isn't it?
You're
going to
so
want to book a session, aren't you? I just know she is. I know she is.
Right, feel free. Well, you can always come to the sound bath I've got in Maidstone at the end of April if you want.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you want to mention your website and all that again?
Yeah, so harmonyandsound.co.uk, and the 2 events, 29th of April is the Wellness Day and then the 8th of May for the Menopause Day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Hope you enjoyed
Thank
it.
you for having me. Just like having a chat.
Yeah.
Loved you banging your gong. She's a very good gong banger.
Oh, dear.
Right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
This podcast has been brought to you by Snug Dubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk. This podcast was brought to you today by Austin's Eatery on Station Road, Strood.
Try the Viking Challenge.